It only takes a spark. Well, it's a sparky day. Huh. Wow. I woke up to Hagee, I think it was, first. And boy, was that fun as he preached about anti-Semitism. Oh, really? And then I asked him, where are those gold coins? Did you have any of those with Trump as you declared him to be God's chosen one? And what's going on exactly with all that? And are you in a Star Trek plan with your little getaway to heaven idea? What's going on here? And then I talked about hirelings, and oh, it was quite some fun. Went to T.D. Jakes, and he was preaching good. Dropped a few seeds there, and went over to some other place, and they were talking about Pentecost. This is the day of Pentecost. I didn't realize that, and I don't like to dwell on things, but it's kind of weird to me that I was born the last year of the baby boomers. People like Jay Dyer, they always talk crap about those boomers, but I thought his boss, Alex Jones, was one, right? But, well, that's all another dividing scheme of pyramids with SRA. Isn't that, what's her name? That Apocalypse girl, one of his SRA agents? And there's a lot of wild stuff going on out there, but it's really weird to me that today I'm just hitting all these chats like Calvary Chapel and like Greg Laurie yesterday, just forget about it, his new heaven. Made a joke out of that. But suddenly I'm like hitting these pastors like right in their perfect spot where like one guy was preaching about the letters of Paul, and then I like came up with this line about how the church uses 70% of the writings of Paul so they can stuff the doctrines of men and cover their hireling schemes. So I was just getting like, wow, too much success. And then this guy started talking about Pentecost, and I'm born the last year of the boomers. And it's really weird because I don't like to talk about my birthday or think about how old I am, but this is my birthday. And I think since I was born in 64, I think I'm like 56. But it's funny to me because since I woke this morning, I've probably got least materialistically than I've had in, well, many years. But yet, I felt like I had too many gifts today, besides my beach hair, I don't care feel, or my teeth. But what I'm trying to say is, it's really kind of interesting to me that this is the day that I didn't really feel like I wanted anything as a gift, and yet it's the day of Pentecost, and it's my birthday, and I never really think about these things, but it's like the baby boomer generation when they've got the baby boomer remover virus. And what's really weird about the generational curse stuff is that my grandpa, he was from Germany, but in World War II, he was a merchant marine because he was old school Mennonite and thought that war was a curse of killing people and having blood on your hands. And he didn't want to be part of that scheme. So I don't know if all this stuff is related, like how he was a merchant marine, so he never shot a gun. And somehow a generational blessing came to me, and then Pentecost came on my birthday. I don't know how this all lines up, but it's amazing how many churches I am literally, let's just say, having a Johnny Carson day with wit that, wow, it's just a lot of fun. I just am having one of the happiest birthdays I can remember. So it looks pretty wild, and make sure you're on the King's team because, wow, the chaff, it's getting ugly and obvious real quick, like that deity of Christ Lucifer idea. There's all these women that are showing emotion on the chat, and I'm not against it. Maybe the men are just a little too hard-headed. I don't know. I'm not. But there's so many people in these chats and like Hagee and stuff, and they're like literally saying, I can't stop crying. I feel so free. Just like what that stuff talked about Paul with the simple truth of the gospel. So if you've got one, smoke one, because I'm celebrating, because I cannot believe how much fun this battle is right now. And keep the prayers up, because we're definitely moving some tides, because the movers and shakers, well, their dance is getting really wild and fun to watch, especially when you're on the Kings team. But if you're not, well, I hope your acting abilities are really good, because, well, the king doesn't fall for any act at all, because, well, he's going to test by fire in those 7 Dead Seas in 1 Corinthians 3. You might want to read up on that, because that is like the end of the Monte Cristo movie, if you've been living that gold rule life for the king. But if you're a rotten tree, you might want to like kind of de-rot, maybe like repent kind of thing, turn back from that love of money, almighty buckland kind of idea. Oh yeah, the hirelings are everywhere, and ooh, you don't want to trust what they say, because they got some spaceship ideas, and there might be a lot of stuff to it, because Star Trek has been on for a long time, and maybe we should learn more about that Gene Roddenberry and all of his amazing ideas, and Eisenhower and all these things. Billy Graham and Anne Graham Lotz now had a vision that humanity's coming to an end. We all need to repeat her prayers word for word. Jesus said no vain repetitions are those Witch of Endor incantations. And wasn't Billy like a 33rd degree Mason? I always thought there was something a little weird about his whole deny me for men scheme, because what the heck? But that was deny me as king before men, which I don't see many churches that don't do that, because they don't want to say king like they're going to get struck dead by lightning. But I don't know. There's something to that, I think. Or maybe it's part of that seminary plan. Maybe it really was. I know some of those Calvary Chapel pastors used to say that seminary, they called it cemetery. Maybe there's more to that, and how the demon people ended up at the cemeteries. Were they like teachers that got caught being too thiefy, and they got... I don't know, but this is wild stuff. You might want to think about these things. And thanks for the great love, which is the best thing to get on your birthday from your neighbor. And I've got plenty from God, so it's all good. And much love from the boomer generation, the one that's not trying to be part of the extermination baby boomer remover plan. I just really don't like that mass-induced pneumonia. I just never really was into it. I did hear about, though, 100 years ago, how it was tragic, and nobody could figure out why everybody was dying of this pneumonia. So much like the flu. A lot of things that like repeat in history. Makes me wonder what Glenn Beck really is talking about sometimes, as he tells everybody to store up, and how it's all going downhill without Trump and those gold coins. What are the gold coins? Where are the gold coins? Blaze TV? Are they blazing? Do you got them blazing so you can melt them down and make some? Because the dollar is a peso now. Maybe you got some new Blaze gold coin scheme. That would be good. Come on, Glenn. Tell us what's up.